All right, welcome to Booze and Bullshit. I'm Mike Ferguson. You're fucking absolutely not. Here we go for more Booze and Bullshit. Hey, what's up? Back with Booze and Bullshit. I'm here with Anthony from Death Threat Radio.
What's happening?
And my boy Keith.
How's it going?
All right. You guys want to give a little shout out to your I know you got a podcast.
Yeah, I have a podcast called Death Threat Radio. You can find it on deaththreatradio.com. You can go to Facebook, Death Threat Radio. You can go to Twitter, Instagram. It's on SoundCloud. It's all over the place.
Keith, shout out some of your social media for people.
If you want to follow me, just Keith Harrington. That's my name, but that's spelled H-E-R-I-N-G on Facebook. And then anything else on social media from Instagram, Twitter, it's 909 Casper with a K.
Cool. We're going to talk about the prison industrial complex tonight. You know, it's a war on fucking people. It's absolutely a war on people. I know that you guys got a lot of opinions on this. It's absolutely horrible. That we have 5% of the world's population. We have 20% of the world's prison population. China and Russia put together don't have our prison population. We're talking about China and Russia that have 1.1 billion people more than we do. Don't even have our prison population. Guys,
it's a war on drugs. This is the problem. The problem is the war on drugs. If you look at the prison population we have right now, okay, 80% of the people who are in prison, let's go on a federal level, okay, are in there for some drug-related crime. You have white-collar criminals and then you have drug offenders. The war on drugs brought so much business to the prison industrial complex. So what happens is you get a budget for prisons, right? You have to take that to Congress and say, okay, the DOJ needs a budget for prisons. This needs to go to the Bureau of Prisons, the BOP. Okay, they only get a certain amount of budget. So when they go back halfway through the fiscal year and they say we're overcrowded, we're stocked, right? They used to have dorms. They used to have basketball courts. Now that's all filled with bunks.
They have absolutely nothing. In the prison system, there's no rehabilitation. There's no schooling.
There's very little. I mean, there's money that's allocated for that, and I know this because I work for a contractor for the prison system.
So he actually works for the prison.
So I know a little bit about the way this works. So what happens is they fill up that prison. They got no room for anybody, right? So they go back to Congress and say, we need more money. They say, listen, we're only going to give you this little tiny bit. They say, do what you can with that money. Well, we got too many prisoners, so they get a company like Corrections Corporation of America or the GEO Group, right? And they say, you got to build us a prison, but you got to bring the price down on how many people we can put in there. And they say, fine, we'll bring the price down for you, but here's what we want. We want a contract that says you're going to keep this prison full, or else we can sue the federal government for not keeping this prison full.
And so here's the fucking problem.
So now you have to fill the prison.
It's a war on people.
It is a war on people.
Fucking, what do you think about that? What did you just say?
Well, I have personal experience with this, and a good friend of mine, one of my best friends, when I was in the 10th grade in high school, my friend came up missing. Where's my friend Sam? Well, he got arrested. He had a couple priors. He's from New York, but he's originally from Ghana, Africa. Okay, one of the nicest, kindest people you ever met. You know, I don't know exactly what he had done in his past, but he was living with a family, a white family. Actually, they're a Filipino family, and they kicked him out. They were, you know, I don't know if they got sick of him staying there or whatever. That's irrelevant. They kicked him out, but all his stuff was inside his house. So he broke in through the window to get his stuff. And he came to my house. Well, they ended up calling the police on him, and because of his record, they were going to give him 6 years, and so since he fought it, they gave him 12 years.
Jesus
12 fucking years of his life.
And that's a problem.
And here's the way the deck is stacked against you, okay? Let's say I go to prison, I get busted for something today on a federal level. They take me to federal prison, right? Okay, I need a lawyer, okay? What I'm going to get is a public defender because I don't have any fucking money. Send me some money, deaththreatradio.com, send it there. Anyway, so here's what happens. I don't have any money, I get a public defender, okay? My budget is going to be maybe 25 grand to fight my entire case. The federal prosecutor's budget is as much money as they want to spend. So you call that a fair trial?
Well,
how do I ever get a fair shake because of that?
I've had a couple friends that have done time in the federal system, and the federal system is actually insanely a lot harder to prosecute than the thing. I've had friends that were carrying Mexicans across the border. Carrying Mexicans across the border. Had a Winnebago full of Mexicans with how much he was getting paid per Mexican. Listen, he got the fuck off.
Okay, but here's the deal. Because so many people do that, a lawyer in San Diego, a lady lawyer in San Diego actually passed a law, had a program done where if you get busted being a coyote, right? If you get busted being a coyote, there's an easy way. There's almost like a drug diversion program to get you out of that, right? But now you're talking about, here's what happens. Most of the people that I have in my office, I'm a transitional counselor. They come out of prison, they come to me, you gotta see me for 6 months, right? To kind of ramp them back into society.
Hey, I need some of that help, brother.
I'm here to help. most of those people are not lifelong criminals. There's a small amount of them that are. Most of them are first-generation Mexican Americans. This is what I'm seeing nowadays, right? 10 years ago, it was the Cholo types, the South Sider guys, right? Now it's most first-generation Mexican Americans. A lot of them are women, and what happens is they're asked, "Hey, man, you want to work?" They get down on their luck. You want to work? Drive this over. It costs. I'll give you $1,500. Right? And then what happens is the cartel wants to move 40 pounds. I'm gonna keep using this shit if you don't mind. Visual aids, right? The cartel wants to move 40 pounds across this fucking border, right? They got 40 pounds in this truck. They put a kilo in your car. They make a phone call to the border guard. The border guard pulls you aside. They're jumping up and down over a kilo. 40 fucking pounds
just drove through. And they're how cheap life is. That's how cheap life is. Cheap. And so this person just got what?
This guy's doing 10 years.
10 years. 10 years.
Mandatory.
It was just a diversion. It was just a diversion by the cartels. Thank you. Your American dollars paid for the diversion to get 40 pounds of real cocaine in, while the kilo fucking is just.
And this person does 10 years, and we're going to spend $29,000 a year
per year
to incarcerate that person, not including the probation costs, the prosecution costs, the public defender's costs.
You have to pay.
Medical.
If you can ever pay it. When can you pay it?
Well, that's the new Jim Crow. It goes back to it, doesn't it?
Right. We keep you locked in the system forever and ever.
So that no matter what you do, you're fucked.
Yeah, that's pretty much.
And they take away your rights. You can't own certain things. You can't vote. Well, it's California. They just gave us voting rights.
Right.
I did anyway. Fuck you. And you know, it's just terrible. And we were talking about on your show is that commissary. If you've been to jail, there's something called commissary.
Yeah.
And there's one company owned. And owns it. And guess who's the owner of that?
Barbara Bush.
Barbara Bush and Bob Barker.
And Bob Barker.
Mr. Price's.
It's called Keefy. Look it up.
And the thing is they're making profits off incarcerating people and selling garbage to people and selling a package of ramen noodles which costs a nickel.
You know, there's another thing I wanted to tell you. It's not just Keefy. There's another corporation called Unicorn. Okay? Unicorn makes lockers, they make clothing, they make metal products, they make all kinds of shit.
And no big contracts. They get these no big contracts.
These contracts are mostly the government stuff. So they make all our military stuff. So there's people in there, welders, who should be getting paid $50 an hour, who are making 48 cents an hour.
That's 25 cents.
Or no, well, not in the Fed system. The Unicorn, the top Unicorn, they can make like $300 a month.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Only in the federal system, and only if you get into working for Unicorn. So that becomes a sought-after job, right?
Yeah, 100%.
So you think you're getting hooked up in prison by working for Unicorn when really
you're slave
they should be charging a union guy should be paying a union guy $50 an hour to do what you're doing for 40 cents.
It's called slave labor.
It's called slavery.
It's called slavery.
Exactly
and
right.
It's still big in America, but we keep our mouths shut because these are criminals.
Yes.
Look.
How easy is it to become a criminal, Mike?
Oh,
how fucking easy is it?
1 second, you're a criminal.
That's right.
And that's the thing is fucking, look, just because somebody's a criminal, they still have rights. They're still human beings. Again, we just talked about fucking, why don't we care for human life?
Right.
This is part of it too.
And it is, because here's the thing: we were founded on this. A lot of Quakers came here to find it. Right? The word penitentiary comes from the word penitent, to be like a penitent monk. The first penitentiaries were little cells with a little space where you could pray and a Bible over here. So it's all of our Quaker are still really Judeo-Christian value being pushed on us, and it turned into something else. But we can use the Christian value as an excuse, so everybody in America goes, "That's a Christian value."
Here's the problem: nothing's ever going to change in the system, because if it does, there's going to be a lot of cops out of work. There's going to be all these rich people that are making money off the system. Look, the revolving door of making sure people are criminals are always going to continue. You know somebody in your family that in some way or shape or form has been on probation, parole, something. You know what I'm saying? Involved in the system, and you know somebody or might have run into somebody that got a really bad deal in the whole situation. I know I have. You know what I'm saying? I met people, and maybe even myself. But this is something that we really need to sit down and I ask people, look this shit up. We're not making anything up. You have something called Google. I know it's weird and strange. You can look this shit up yourself. Everything we say.
You can go to a .gov site. You can go to the Bureau of Justice and Labor Statistics, the DOJ, and see all of it now.
And unfortunately, fucking nobody likes to. They want to get their shit from a meme on Facebook. They want to get their information from a fucking blog. They want to get not even real websites. My buddy sent me some bullshit the other day, and it wasn't even a real fucking website.
Was it conservativejournal.blogspot?
Yeah, it was, and we talked about that. And I was like, dude, that's not even real.
It's clickbait.
And I was like, dude, it's not even real. And he admitted to it. He was like, yeah, I'm sorry.
Right.
He's like, I didn't source my shit. And I say that, I said, it's important to source your shit.
Yeah.
You sent me a link the other day. What was that?
Which one? The one about the owl.
Yeah.
The Purdue owl. Here's the deal. If you go to college, right, you're always looking for how do I source things, how do I want to make sure my paper's good.
Yeah.
Purdue University has a thing called the Purdue owl, right?
Yeah.
And it shows you step by step how to source information, what a primary source is, what a secondary source is, whether a piece of information is a reliable source, whether they're trying to sell you something. You have to understand that when we're trying to gather information, everybody's got a fucking agenda.
Yeah.
So the information that you gather may not necessarily be totally based in the facts. You got to go all the way back to the raw data and then say, what is my conclusion off of this?
Yeah, and that's the thing is people don't want to take the time. Look,
we're too fucking ADD.
Well, look, man, look, this was something I was going to talk about in another episode, but I'm going to say is, look, freedom isn't free. And when I say that, I'm not talking about fucking us going over and conquering Iraq or whatever. Is freedom's not free, is it takes work by all of us to research shit.
That's true.
And not believe the bullshit they're telling us. Look, freedom's not free, and that has nothing to do. I love our troops, and I'm saying whatever they do.
Me too.
But that saying has nothing to do with our fucking troops.
Right.
That has to do with us sitting down and having conversations like this and having conversations with other people and researching shit and becoming educated. Not just reading a book, or look, you went to college for 10 years for a 4-year degree. You're not educated. Go fuck yourself, okay? Go out and read a book. I read fucking 2 or 3 books a week.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Some fiction, some nonfiction. Right now I'm in a lot of Nazi philosophy, but hey, that's just me.